we built our infrastructure to handle a lot bigger business than what we're doing. And so the more we can add onto that and help that infrastructure, I think the better we'll get and the more we can do.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been cleared for takeoff. You are now flying high with Travis Lamance.
What's happening, Flying High friends? Welcome to another episode of the Flight Deck with the Flying High podcast. Excited to have you here. And today we got a special guest. We got Mr. Shawn Robison. He is our CFO and COO for the whole Haven Aero group. So important guy behind the scenes that you guys don't see a lot of, but very critical in the operation. And I'm excited to introduce him to you guys today and let you learn a little more about him. So welcome to the show, Mr. Shawn.
Thank you for having me.
Why don't you introduce yourself to our audience a little bit, a little background about who you are and all that.
Yeah, as he said, Shawn Robison, the CFO, COO here at Haven ASG. Been a CFO for quite a long time with other companies, several different industries, including trucking, safety consulting, irrigation and landscaping, air ambulance, and now charters and FBOs and maintenance. Yes.
A little bit of all of it.
A little bit of everything, yeah.
You started initially working as a fractional for us through a fractional provider, and then all that was going really well. So you came on full-time as a CFO initially, and over time you picked up that other little title of the COO,
Right. Wearing different hats all the time.
Yeah, different hat every hour of the day. What timeline have we been on with you? Been 2 years, 2.5 years?
It's been full-time on with ASG for 2 years.
Yeah.
Probably 3 when you add in the consulting. Right?
Nice. And have we grown any since then?
Just a little bit.
We've added a few little things.
We've added a few aircraft here and there. We've added an FBO, 2 MROs, and looking for more. So, yeah, we've grown just a tiny bit.
Yeah, it's been a fun journey, though.
I know.
Whenever you first started doing the consulting and everything with this, I think we had 1, maybe 2 charter birds. We had we still had the small shop. We still had, we couldn't have been probably 20 employees at that time, maybe.
Right.
So we're up somewhere in 75 or somewhere around there, 80 right now, something
Today
like that.
we had that chili cook-off, and I heard someone say, my gosh, I didn't know we had this many employees.
And that's just here.
That's just at this location, right.
It's not counting our whole gaggle of pilots all over the country and our other 2 MRO locations. But, yeah, that break room wasn't nearly big enough today, was it?
Right. Lots of people in there doing lots of good work.
Yeah. Did you pick your favorite chili, though?
I did. I picked one.
Which one did you like?
I forgot the name of it. It's one with the little chunks in the green chili.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty good, yeah.
The cowboy chili, I think.
That was
Jess, yeah. Made that one with deer backstrap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was very good.
That one was super good.
Yeah.
There wasn't one of them that was bad other than Chris's cheater chili.
I didn't even try his, I don't guess.
Yeah. Did you hear what he did, though? Yeah. He went and bought a bucket of family order of chili from Wendy's and dumped it in a crock pot.
He didn't win.
No, he did not win, but it was funny anyway. He's screwing with people. He wrote on the thing, the title of it was Grandma W's Chili or something like that. Me and you worked together over when we were doing the Apollo med flight stuff, and you were working the controller job there and doing all the financials, and I was running the DOM and the aviation side of things. And so it's been a fun evolution of dynamics, from all the things that we had to interact with back then to how we have to interact on things now.
Right.
And what some of the parallels or differences that you've seen between just a pure EMS company versus this diverse thing where we're doing everything under the sun over here on the private world.
I think in both places, pilots and keeping the aircraft maintained in the air. Yeah, both of those are the same. It's hard either way. And very expensive keeping it maintained and parts and stuff like that. So that's more of a parallel side there. Differences is this is a little more complex.
Yeah,
than it was.
More dynamic.
A little more dynamic, right? Yeah. Lots of moving parts.
Yeah, and then growing as aggressively as we have been and trying to do it, bootstrap the whole way. Your job is particularly challenging with managing cash flow all the time and, trying to figure out if we pay for this thing this week and when's the cash coming in on this side on this week, and those whole dynamics in an aggressive growth curve without a giant outside funding. It's interesting, and we've had some months that were really tough, and you're like Mr. Wizard all the time figuring out how to pay $100,000 worth of bills with 50 grand in the bank.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
you've done a phenomenal job of cash flow management through all that and got us way down the road. And I think a lot of the stuff you're doing in the back end goes unappreciated because you're not the pilot out there wiggling the sticks. You're not the mechanic bolting the part on. So it's easy to forget all the things that go on in the back office and make all that work. What are some of the things you see from your seat on that? Like, you see the inner workings of all of that back there and what it really takes to make all that work.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your take on some of that?
I think, as you said, there's a lot of little details people don't realize. Hey, we took this flight. Well, that flight included a lot of different aspects. You know, it included the fuel, the pilots, incidentals, the repair and maintenance holdback for the aircraft, the owner's portion, our portion. So a lot of different things just to take one flight that we have to put through the system. That a lot of people just, we took a flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So isn't that easy? And
They got on and they went
Right.
whoop and they're done. What's the problem?
every little part in maintenance, every little thing there, it costs money and you have to track it and keep up with it. And all those invoices come in and out that we send both on the vendor side and on the customer side. So there's a lot in the background that my team has done a really good job on. I think
sure.
we got pretty good teammates in there now that really like to pay attention to detail and keep it moving forward so that we can stretch those dollars and try to make it go a little bit further till we get more business in that door.
Yeah. Have you enjoyed or not there? Maybe, I don't know which way, what the implementation of the FBO, you had a prior background in the fueling business as well. And you came to the table with probably more knowledge than any of us on the fuel side. What's that been like since we've added the FBO?
Yeah, it brought me back to old days when I was CFO of a fuel company.
Yeah.
I was a trucking company at the same time. So it's a lot of similarities there. The trucking company, you had to have the truckers to drive the trucks. We have the pilots. You had to fuel the trucks. We have to fuel the aircraft. We keep the tanks, the inventory. So that's been a lot of parallel there between those two. And yeah, as you mentioned, in that consulting role we did, we worked for an FBO that grew from 3 FBOs to 17 in the time I was there. So that was a lot of growth happening in that place.
So that's our high water mark, right? We got to get more than
We gotta
17.
get 18.
Yeah,
That's right.
We got to get over 17. So I bet we can do that by next year, right?
We've got 3 and a 4th coming. So yeah, we're on our way.
Yeah, we'll be there. No time at all.
Yeah.
The addition of the FBO's definitely been fun for me to kind of close the loop on that one-stop shop that we've been trying to build with the vertical integration. And our goal is to make it where a owner can call one person on our team and get anything done related to their aircraft, whether it's pilot staffing, maintenance, buy, sell, insurance, real estate, whatever it is. We've got to be able to do it. And a lot of those pieces, we talk a lot about maintenance and pilots, but a lot of that stuff, the insurance components, the real estate components, the legal and tax implications on the backside of it, that all falls right in your lap, in your wheelhouse.
Right.
And from an owner's perspective, those are just as important as the other aspects. I mean, yeah, you got to have good maintenance to make it safe. You got to have a good trained pilot to make it safe and efficient. But when the IRS comes calling on an audit and you don't have your paperwork done right, now you've got a really big problem for the owner. Trying to figure out how to not overspend on real estate, how to not overspend on insurance, but make sure you're covered.
Right.
What are some things that you like to look at and make sure we're covering from that side of the house?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different aspects to it. One, you kind of mentioned in there is kind of the tax side, the property taxes. So I know we're able to help our customers out quite a bit in that aspect, putting on a charter, doing that side of it, rather than just having that personal use tax that they have.
Right.
So that's a big step for them. Yeah, and when you look at some of the insurances out there and you see some of the horror stories of somebody who didn't have enough insurance,
Right.
and what it costs the company and the individuals, that's a big burden to make sure you got everything covered, that if something happened to that aircraft,
Yeah.
People are covered and taken care of.
It's interesting since we're on the backside of all of it, watching all the different things it takes to make a ownership feel effortless, right? So if we're doing our job, the owner's like, it's easy to own an airplane because that means that we're doing a good job. If the owner feels burdened and like it's a big pain in the ass, that means we're dropping the ball somewhere. So there's a lot that goes into it that people just don't think about. And being an owner that can just pick up the phone and call an assigned contact and know that it's going to get handled down the line, and you're just going to get a loop closure on the back end of it is a big value for these owners. And the FBO is kind of the loop closure on that for me, because we've been doing the rest of it for a long time. And now being able to house their aircraft if they live in this part of the world, and being able to be in bed with the fuel providers more deeply, and going to those type of events to figure that side of it out's been really helpful. Is there anything else like that you think we need to add that we haven't added yet that's going to finish rounding that out? Or are you kind of like me where you feel like the FBO was pretty well the last big cog in the wheel that was missing?
Yeah, I think the FBO, because like you said, we can buy, sell the aircraft for you. We can fly it for you. We can maintain it for you. Now we can house it and have a place for you to land and fuel up. And I think that's a big circle there. I think we just need to have more of them so that we have places to go, different areas for different owners to get with us and be able to put their plane with us. Yeah. Have us take care of it.
That's why we need 18 locations.
That's right. That's why we need a lot.
Yeah. We're, I've got 3 or 4 of them out there that we're prospecting right now, and it's pretty interesting watching where a lot of the big legacy FBOs have set up shop and trying to figure out where a player of our size can fit in around those guys and bring value to the customers and not just be another shingle hanging on the airport. It's right. I think it's important to both of us that we're actually there for a reason that's bringing value to the owners and not just another name.
Exactly. So, yeah. I know on our managed aircraft, one of them, it's so turnkey that we pay their hangar rent for them, so they have it hangared somewhere and the bill actually comes through us. We take care of that and provide that for them. So it really is a hands off. The owner just says, hey, I want to go fly today, and he gets to go fly, right? And doesn't have to worry about all the backside of it. So.
Pilot hiring and training and when needed firing and
that's right.
all the uncomfortable things that go along on that side of it, and having it all handled and housed in one place is pretty cool.
And I think having that expertise, the more we do it, the more expertise we have, and a lot of, like we said, a lot of moving parts, a lot of people in the background, doing each one of those particular sides of the business, and each one of them are gaining more deep experience and making it. We've learned from mistakes because we've made some. We've dropped the ball a few places, but we've learned from it. We've picked it up and we said, hey, we can do it better this way.
For sure.
And I think the more we have that going on, the better we're going to be.
Yeah, I think anybody that has grown and built something like what we're doing here that pretends they haven't screwed up a few times is full of shit.
Right.
Right. There's so much stuff going on and so many different things, and anybody that's being honest about it they're gonna admit that they've stubbed their toe more than once. And the important part to me is that you learn from it and you fix it and you do it right the next time and elevate your service from it. And I think we do a good job as a team on that. That if we have a hiccup, we learn and fix it and don't let it happen again. And it's about all we can do, and be transparent with the owners about it and own up to it when we screw something up and not try to hide it or sweep it under the rug. You know? I think that's where a lot of people get in trouble, is they let their ego get in the way and they won't admit when they made a mistake, and they just compound it by trying to pretend it didn't happen or trying to make it someone else's fault and pointing fingers and just not being accountable to the outcome on it. So.
And I got that firsthand from one of our owners one night. So I'm at a restaurant, was talking to him. He said, hey, is my plane going to be ready? And I said, what's going on with it? He said, well, you guys messed up. But he said, one thing I liked is your manager called me and said, hey, we totally messed up on this. It's our fault. We're going to make it right. Here's what we're doing about it. He said, that's all I want, is just that communication to know that, okay, you're taking care of it for me.
Yeah. They have to have such a high level of trust with the asset that they're giving you if they lose trust in you, none of it works. Right.
I mean, we're dealing with people's lives. So we got to make sure it's done right.
Expensive assets and lives. It's two very critical things,
Exactly.
So.
Hey guys, we'll get back to the video in a sec, but first, quick question for you business owners and high achievers watching. When you're traveling around the country for deals, scaling teams, or managing stress, are you actually flying with a team that makes your life easier? Or are you dealing with scheduling headaches, surprise maintenance bills, and too many moving parts behind the scenes? Well, that's why today's sponsor, Haven Aviation Services Group, exists. Think of them as the safe haven of the sky. Haven is a vertically integrated aviation company, meaning they handle everything everything under one roof. From your private jet charters, aircraft management, brokerage, maintenance, avionics, and premium grade services at their FBO. For aircraft owners especially, this is the absolute real best value. Instead of juggling pilots, insurance, scheduling, maintenance, hangars, legal docs, Haven manages it all in one place. No guessing, no surprises, and no wondering why something suddenly costs six figures. Their entire focus is transparency, safety, and long-term planning. So you actually trust the people managing your aircraft and don't have to stress about it at all. So if you want an aviation partner that operates with the same discipline and results-driven mindset we talk about on the show, hit the link in the description to connect with Haven Aviation Services Group. Big thanks to Haven ASG for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get back to the show.
What are some things you'd like to see out of the company over the next year or two, and what's coming down the pipe? What gets you excited?
You know, I think just that growth aspect, getting our name out there, getting more known in the United States and even Canada and different places that, hey, this is a good place to be. This is, you want to charter, go to Haven. They treat you right. They do it the right way. They really take safety, first. So they want to protect you and make sure you get where you're going safely. I think where we're doing right now and the MROs growing those, FBO's right behind it. And as we're adding on some more of these managed aircraft, I think that we're heading in that right direction to, we built our infrastructure to handle a lot bigger business than what we're doing. And so the more we can add onto that and help that infrastructure, I think the better we'll get and the more we can do.
Well, I think that is one thing, in spite of the fact that we have done several things wrong, usually me doing something wrong. But the one thing I do feel like we've done right is building this from the beginning, knowing that we were going to be a big nationwide brand, right?
Yeah.
And so we've got the foundation well built for it, where you see a lot of people build real skinny on their foundation and it starts growing, and then they have to go back and rebuild. And add to the foundation and go back. Ours has taken a little bit longer because we've spent so much time on that foundation, but now that we have it there, we can build as many stories on top of it as we want. And so it is exciting to see that that part of it's all working and coming together, where we truly are set up for a massive scale and not have to go back and reinvent the wheel every time we add a new customer.
That's right. And building it that way, putting that good foundation down has been expensive.
Yeah,
and that's where we've had to keep our cash flow tight a little bit and get by 1 week to 1 week some times and ask for help some other times, because we were building that base that, okay, we're building this so that we can make it be something better down the road.
So no Bugattis this week?
No, not yet. That's down the road, right?
Yeah. We'll know when our cash flow loosens up, when I show up in my Ferrari. Yeah.
That's right. When we get that jet, we can take it everywhere.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be the fun part on the back end of it. But right now it's all about the employees and the customers and building it right. And all those fun toys can wait. And we know they're coming down the road whenever the timing's appropriate, right?
Absolutely.
I don't want to lease a Bugatti. It's funny, there one time I was in Albuquerque, and there was this guy showed up, and he had, I don't even remember what kind of car it was, but some fancy car, and on one side of the car it had these really nice wheels, and on the other side of the car it just had like normal stock wheels on it. And I was like, what the heck? So I asked him, I was like, what is that about? He's like, oh, there's this place down the road over here that's called Rent a Rim, and they have a curbside special. So that you can rent just the two wheels on the curbside to go drive around in. Yeah, I don't want to do that with my Ferrari.
So you don't break the other ones.
No curbside specials. Let's wait until it's fun.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I can't imagine going and renting rims for one side of your car.
That's funny, yeah. My daughter probably needs those. I looked at her rims the other day, and I'm like, man, you're a little close there, aren't you?
Oh, curb check here and there.
Yeah.
I tease Robin about hers all the time because she's always getting flats on the passenger side of her car, and I'm always teasing her about driving around in the gutter everywhere she goes.
It's down the gutters, yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. Luckily, she hasn't curb checked real bad, none of that. But she tends to drive in the gutters. But, we've kind of covered how when you originally started with us, it was in a fractional capacity where you were just part-time working for us as a fractional CFO. And then you came on full-time as a CFO, and then I started handing off a lot of our operations stuff to you. And so now you're kind of that combo CFO, COO role right now. And at some point during our growth process here, we'll eventually have to split that back apart, and you'll have to decide if you want to be a finance guy or an operator guy. But for right now, kind of just talking through our growth plan, and anybody out there that might be listening, trying to grow their own business, scale their own business, what are some pointers you have about when to pick up a fractional CFO versus just a controller versus a full-time CFO? Like, are there some milestones or business complexities that drive that, or how would you advise people to look at that?
Yeah, typically on that, if you're doing multiple companies and you have to consolidate those, put those together, you probably want a higher level person in there, either that a controller or a CFO. Most of the time you start out with, your bookkeeper, your ARAP person. And then once you get too big for them to handle all of it, kind of do the more complex items, then you get to a controller. And they can structure your business a little bit more following GAAP and accounting principles. But then you get to a point where you're trying to have growth. And you need to be able to analyze and make sure the backside of the accounting is doing great, but also analyze moving forward. Like, what's this cost us? How do we move forward? What's the investment? What's the return going to be? How many people do we need? How much is that going to cost? So you get more in the planning, strategic stages with the CFO. So typically, I think when you get up there in that 10 million or higher range of revenue, you probably need to look at, or if you're looking at expanding several places like we are, that's probably when you need to look at a higher level CFO rather than just a controller side.
Especially when you're going into multiple states and a highly regulated industry. And I'm sure that beyond just the top line revenue of the business, it's also, I bet, a lot about the complexity of the business, right? So I've always been aviation, so it's always been the same complexity for me. But I know just from interacting with a lot of other business owners, it seems like a lot of them have far fewer complications than what the aviation business has in it. So imagine there's a...
Yeah, I mean, every state has a different sales tax that you have to pay attention to when you're located in that state. They have different income tax rules for the different employees, different HR rules that you got to follow. It's just a lot of different reporting and things like that as you get more complex, more states, more locations, that's all got to funnel down and be taken care of, and your I's, dotting your T's crossed to make sure everything adds up correctly.
And right now we have brick and mortar stores in 3 states, but with all these pilots that live all over the country, I think we've got 15, maybe more now, states that we pay payroll in, and it's gotten pretty complicated.
It has.
There's a lot.
Robin does a great job on that, but that's kind of part of the oversight of the CFOs, to make sure those people are in place and doing what they're supposed to be doing correctly too, and scaling it up.
Outside of spending every waking hour trying to keep this place open, do you do anything for fun?
Lately, let's see. Yeah, I'm an avid golfer. I love golf. I always have.
You kicked the shit out of me more than once.
I used to be really, really good, and then I got busy working, and it's tailed off. But I know we're heading to the gathering there in Austin here in March, and I've already scheduled myself a round of golf at Horseshoe Bay. So,
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
They got a really good course, I'm assuming,
they have
down
3
there.
or 4 excellent, famous courses. So,
nice.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
I'll probably lose a lot of balls, but it's okay.
You'll have fun doing it.
That's right. So other than that, and then my kids. So I've got 2 grown kids now. One's still in college. She's getting her master's, doing really well. The other one still working on his college. So, keeping them in line, going visit them, seeing them grow and become adults and actually work and take some of that burden off of me.
Yeah, I bet you'll be glad when the college college checks have to stop.
When everything stops and I just get to keep my money. That's when it's going to be nice. Yeah.
I bet that is an interesting phase of life. I have a hard time wrapping my head around it with me being right in the preteen years. It seems like a long way off, but I bet it'll be here in a blink of an eye.
Oh, it's so fast. I remember when mine were that age, just like it was yesterday, and what we did. And it's funny, you think about it when they're the size of yours, and it kind of scares you for them to go off on their own, and you don't want them to. But as they get older, they get to be more teenagers. You start thinking, you probably need to leave and go somewhere else. At least for a little while. And then they do, and then they realize, hey, Dad wasn't so bad. He was
not as
kind
dumb
of a
as I
good
thought
guy.
he was.
He's pretty smart. My daughter the other day, we were in the car with her, and she's talking about taxes and different things. She said, Dad, you know everything. And my wife was like, what did you just say? She said, yes. She said, can you just write a book about everything I need to know as an adult? And I said, everything as an adult?
The
She said,
book of
yeah, whatever
everything.
comes along in my lifetime that I need to handle. Can you just write stuff down on how to do it? I was like, just give you a complete handbook of adult life. I was like, oh,
That would be nice.
that might be a good book to write.
When you
Who
get
knows?
that book done, will you give me a copy?
Yeah, absolutely.
I need to know how to adult better.
And I said, what you need to know is when I get too old to work, you're going to take care of me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. See if she don't stick you in the old man home.
That's
huh?
right. That's right. She's going to pay for my Bugatti.
Yeah, exactly. We went to visit a friend of ours that had got hurt, and they, during the recovery, rehab, whatever they call it, they put her in one of those old folks' homes. And so we went in there a couple times to check on her. Second or third time we went through there, like to go in there, you walk through this like common area or whatever. Second or third time we go through there, I told Robin, I'm like, you notice anything weird? And she's like, what? And we get to looking around, and there was one old man in there, and the rest were all women. And so I asked the nurse, I'm like, is this like a ladies' place or what? And she goes, no, the guys just don't last as long.
Gosh.
I was
That's good and bad, I guess,
like,
right?
Shit,
Yeah.
I guess I don't got to
Wow.
rot away in an old man home because.
You'll be gone pretty quick.
And if you do make it, you got your choice of the ladies, man. There's like loaded.
Places like spring break all the
Yeah,
time.
it is. You're like you're the man. You're the man of the house all
You
the time.
are,
There,
That's right.
I
The
was-
young blood coming in.
Yeah, that one's a spring chicken. He's only 78.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
was weird. Like, no guys. It's all women in there. I was like, that's
crazy.
pretty weird.
I hope I have the genes of my father. He's 84.
Yeah.
And he just stopped working a few years ago. He did ditches doing sprinkler systems. So
Yeah.
he was down there with the shovels, 78 years
He's
old.
still
We're
cranking.
outworking me. I used to go help him. I'm like,
Yeah.
how are you doing this every day?
He is wired
So
for it.
He's
huh?
wired for it. He's still doing great. So
That's
hopefully I
awesome.
got those genes too.
Yeah. Have lots of years to enjoy.
I
huh?
hope so. Yeah.
Well, that's fun. We gotta figure out how to get you back out on the golf course a little more and
A little more, yeah.
out of the spreadsheets a little
Got
more.
to figure out how to tie that in with business. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't even fathom how much business I've lost over the years by not taking an active interest in golf.
Yeah.
I get invited to go on these golf things all the time, and I don't know what it is. I just can't get excited about golf. Like, I don't know. When I go out there and do it, I enjoy it. I think it's the amount of time.
It's the
it
amount of
takes.
time.
I
Yeah.
just can't take 6 hours a day to go and
Right.
smack a ball around the course,
That's why my game has tailed off, because as my kids got older, I got more involved with them, more involved with work. It just was less time out at the golf course. And
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's the reason I don't go now. Is just
Time.
6 hours. I could do a whole lot of other things in 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you were playing a lot, what kind of handicap did you get down to?
I was -2 at one point.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
was scratch at one point. I went to state my senior year, my junior year in high school. Senior year, I got a girlfriend, and I didn't make it back to state. So
You got a little distracted.
got a little
did
bit
you?
distracted. didn't spend as many hours on the course as I should have.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Played a little bit in college and didn't do much there. But
Yeah.
then as I had kids, it just went back up. And
When
every
you-
now and then I can still play pretty good, but it's like I have 16 holes of scratch, and then 2 I'll just blow up. Yeah.
What is it about golf that what is it that you do like about it? Is it just because of the challenge, or is it the peace just being out there doing it, or what's the
It's a little bit
allure?
of it all. It's the peace. It's just being outside. You're not behind the desk. You're not working. You're not thinking about other stuff. You're
Yeah.
just thinking about the golf course, how beautiful it is,
Mhm.
the scenery, everything about it, and just that challenge too, to get a little bit better than I did last time.
right?
And that's what always brings people back, is that one great shot that they tell everybody about.
Yeah.
Then they want to go back and do that shot more. And
Yeah.
so that takes over all those bad ones. When you hit that one good one, you're like, okay, I've got it in me. If I could just do that every time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, what's I'm drawing a blank on his name all of a sudden. The golfer that wears the crazy loud sweatpants and shit. What the hell's his name? How am I for drawing a blank on his name?
Ian.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Oh, Daly.
Yeah,
John
John Daly.
Daly,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
John Daly.
I think if I could pull off the John Daly style, I'd be able to be a golfer.
You could probably do that. That's
Just
right.
Show
Get
up out there in those fancy
Get your little
sweatpants.
beanie
Yeah,
and a big old cigar.
yeah. He goes out there and he. I was watching one the other day where him and his son went out there and. He goes out there and there's all these guys stretching and getting ready, and he gets out and he's got a cigar in one hand and a beer in the other hand, and he sets his beer down and throws one golf ball down one-handed, just cranks that ball, and he goes, well, I'm warmed up. He gets back in the cart and takes off playing. I was like, I'd be that
That's
golfer
how I
right
need
there.
to go. That's right. Yeah.
I was
yeah.
laughing my ass off.
that's
All these
funny.
guys out there working so hard at it, and he makes it look like a joke. You know?
Absolutely.
It's pretty funny. He's an entertaining character, though.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, what else? What else is on your radar, Shawn? Anything else you want to cover?
No, I don't guess so.
No.
Yeah.
I think that's all of it in a nutshell.
I think we got most of me on there. That's right. Yeah.
Good. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Flight Deck here with Flyin High. Make sure like, subscribe, throw any thing in the comments that you want to know more about aviation, anything you'd like to see an episode on, and we'll see you on the next one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been cleared for takeoff. You are now flying high with Travis Lamance.